Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is dinma.obialor and I'm a Nigerian YouTuber based here in Dublin, Ireland. So today I'm going to be listening to you guys and answering some of the major questions that you have about Ireland and moving to Ireland. Basically, this is going to be exciting. So I've gotten a lot of questions on Instagram, via email, even someone even found me on LinkedIn. Thank you so much. And I've gotten a lot of comments about Ireland, the visa, all of that stuff. And I decided that even though I have done some personal responses to all of these people, I sort of like want to put the answers out there because some of these questions are repeated. So I'm just going to be doing sort of like an answer to some of the general questions I was asked, and just hopefully giving you guys enough information to help you. Then again, I must put out a disclaimer. I am not an immigration consultant. I am not an expert in this field. I have only been here for a while, so I can only give you based on my experience, okay? So number one question I have here came in as a comment on YouTube, and it's so similar to the questions I've gotten via email and also on Instagram, so I'm going to be posting it somewhere on the screen for you guys to see. This person just says, "Conversations, Dinma, thank you for sharing. It's helping a lot in our research. You are most welcome. Please, how long does it take for you guys to get decision from the embassy after submitting at the VFS?" For us, it took 2 months approximately, if I'm not wrong. We're able to track our, not necessarily track because it's not like a tracking system. You sort of like just go on this website for the visa, Abuja Visa Immigration Office. I'm going to put the link below. You go there and you check the decisions that have been made week by week. So they put it as a document at the bottom. They also put like a table showing you where exactly they are in the moment. So when you go to the documents at the bottom, you sort of like see the list and you see all the IRL numbers, all the visa numbers, who was approved and who was rejected. That's basically how we were able to track it. For us, like I said, it came in 2 months after. Eventually, I found out that 9 weeks is their highest time frame. Okay, so if you feel like your decision has taken longer than 9 weeks or has just clocked 9 weeks, and you haven't gotten feedback, you haven't seen your number on the list, right, you can send them an email. I'm going to put in the email address you can send an email to. Put in your IRL number as part of your email. Ask them about your decision and the progress. Tell them that maybe your time frame on the table has passed, or your number is not on the list even after 9 weeks, and they would definitely come up, like give you some kind of feedback. So yeah, do that. That's your right. You're within your rights to do that, so definitely do that. But anywhere from 2 months, which is about, I think, 8 weeks or approximately 9 weeks to 9 weeks is basically when you're going to get your decision. So fingers crossed you're going to get the best decision. Don't worry, God's got you. You're covered. So the next question I have here is, "Thanks, Dinma. I really appreciate you putting out content for us to benefit. However, can you share more light about your driving permit as an immigrant?" Okay, so this is a very, very interesting one, and this is one that we had to do a lot of research on before we even got here. So there is an international driver's license that you can be issued from Nigeria that allows you to drive internationally for 1 year while you settle in. Then again, in Nigeria, we drive on the left, okay? So coming here, you're going to be driving on the right. So best bet for you is once you get here, you get to doing your driving lessons, okay? So then again, your Nigerian driver's license gives you some kind of leverage, okay? So if you have your Nigerian license or your license from your country of residency prior to coming to Ireland, you have an advantage that you would get lesser classes. Like you will have to do lesser classes before you get your license, okay? So basically the process is you have to take a test, then get a learner's permit, and then after getting your learner's permit, you have to do 12 classes and then get your Irish driver's license. But if you're able to prove to the Irish issuing body, like the Irish license issuing body, that you have a license from your previous country of residence, and you have like maybe a letter from the issuing body from your previous country of residence stating that you are a licensed driver and you've been licensed from this period to this period, you get some kind of pass, okay, to have lesser classes. So instead of 12 classes, you do 6 classes, and instead of having to wait 6 months before you can apply to write the driver's test, right, to get your driver's license, you sort of like can do it in a short period of time. So that's the advantage. So when you're coming to Ireland, 3 things you should probably get as someone who wants to drive in Ireland is, first, your international license, which will give you some time to sort of maybe get a car and still drive while you're trying to process your license for a year. The second is to bring your license from Nigeria that has not expired 6 months prior to your coming. Okay, so it has to be a license that is still valid. Okay, and even if it's expired, it cannot be for more than 6 months. Okay, and then third thing you want to come with is a letter from the Federal Road Safety Commission, Nigerian Road Safety Commission, National Road Safety Commission. I don't know what they call them, like, but come with that letter proving that you've been a licensed driver in the country for a period of time, for the period where you had your international license, where you had your national license in Nigeria. So definitely come with those things, because you're going to submit that your license, you're going to submit that letter just to prove that you've been a licensed driver and to make your life easy. So yeah, like I said, I'm going to drop a link in the description box just to like show you where to go read more about it. But that's the basic stuff. Like, if you're able to do that, you should be able to get yourself on the road and getting yourself stable. Don't worry, it's not that scary. Right hand drive is not as scary as it looks. Okay, I know that it seems a bit scary, but it's not as scary as it looks. If you knew how to drive in the first place, you really just need to figure out the spacing, the process, and they're a bit stricter on their rules, but you'll get there. Okay, so yeah. So next question. Hi, please. What do you need for your PPS and IRP? Proof of address, your proof of continuous stay in the country, which might be actually your what do you call it, your employment letter or your school letter, depending on what situation you're coming, your that's bringing you to Ireland. Proof of address also can also be a bill that was built to an address where you stay in your name. It can be a contract that you signed in your name. So it has to be something in your name that just proves that this is where you're living at the time. Then your proof of continuous stay in the country could be your letter of employment or your letter of admission. Yeah, and you want to take your international passport with you. Those are the basic stuff. If I'm forgetting any other thing, I'll probably put in the on the screen or in the description box. My next question here is, do Nigerians need a transit visa when flying Turkish to Ireland? So no, you don't need a transit visa. And I think there's been a lot of issue about where and when is a transit visa. So I'll just highlight a few places. If you're traveling through Qatar, you don't need a transit visa. It's a longer flight, but you don't need a transit visa to come to Ireland from Qatar. If you're traveling through Turkey, you don't need a transit visa to come to Ireland from Turkey. Traveling through France, Air France, because you would not need to leave the airport, you also do not need a transit visa. So those are a few airlines you probably should consider if you're coming to Ireland. Okay, just to be a little bit, personal on this one, I like Qatar. It's so long, but it's the best I've used so far. Okay, Qatar is the best. So my next question here is, please, can my spouse work on a general work permit when they join me in Ireland after 1 year? So the general work permit falls under all other employment permits, and according to the government website, your spouse actually requires a permit of their own to be able to work in Ireland. So even after waiting for 1 year to bring in your spouse has to apply for a separate work permit. The only exception to this rule is if you are a doctor working in an HSE funded hospital. HSE is likened to the NHS here in Ireland, and you have to be a doctor working within that sort of hospital to allow your spouse get on the stamp 1G, which is also a permit that the same permit that a CSCP holder's spouse would get. Okay, so that is like in also called the dependent and spousal partner visa permit, I believe. So that's it. But the good thing is that there are other permits that you can get, and when your spouse gets here, they have a higher chance of getting a job and maybe applying for a general permit. And the general permit is easier to get, and if they're lucky to even get a job that falls under the CSCP, they can apply for a CSCP also when they're here. They're allowed to work, but not an automatic, they don't get an automatic permit. They have to apply for their own permit. So they are entitled to other permits except the dependent and spousal visa permit, which is just for CSP holders, for spouses and dependents, sorry, of CSP holders, or spouses and dependents of doctors who are working in hospitals that are sponsored by the HSC. All right. So just on a lighter note, okay, I have this one question for my file that I want to even answer. I think that's going to be the final question I'm going to be answering today. I've had a question about what I regret packing to Dublin, because when you guys were watching my whole food packing video, it was like I packed too much. Like, I will not lie, when it comes to the medication, I packed too much medication because honestly, um with the antibiotics, I still had to buy my kids antibiotics here because I can't just give them antibiotics. I'm not a doctor. Like, I can't just prescribe because like different antibiotics have different uses. I mean, that's something I didn't even process. I just wanted to buy all the drugs just to have drugs here. I still have to buy the medications that they've asked me to buy here for them. And yeah, so I did pack so much medication. We just have them lying there. Although the vitamins, the basic stuff, the painkiller, the cowpaw, all of that stuff is useful because once in a while you need to give kids these things, right? Yeah, the malaria test kit I got for myself and my kids, not useful at all because they didn't have malaria at all in Nigeria. How was I even expecting them to bring malaria here? So not useful. Malaria drugs, not useful. That was a lot packed. I agree. But in terms of like my clothing, so I packed only one box for myself, in that one box for my kids. Okay, I didn't pack a lot of clothes for them, and that is something I am so happy I did. I packed more of the stuff they like, their toys, their books. Um, like my son came here with like one of his very tiny, beautiful chairs that he really loved from Nigeria. I packed that for him, and I don't regret packing that. I packed a collapsible bath for my kids, and that really helped me so much. I don't know. Tell me, you guys, if you want me to do a video telling you guys specific stuff I packed for my kids that have been so helpful. Like that collapsible bath was a lifesaver because when we were staying at the temporary apartment, I didn't have to start running helter skelter looking for something that was comfortable for my kids. They were bathing in a bath that they were used to already, and it was very easy to carry here, to be honest. Um, yeah, my strollers are the best thing I packed. Yeah, so definitely also coming with food. Oh, my food. The fact that I didn't have to go to the African supermarket for the first few weeks was such a lifesaver. My oats swallow because we like our oats. My dried okra, egusi powder, all of that stuff. They just came through for me. Trust me, they came through for me. My dried fish, my dried goat meat. All those things came through for me. I definitely do not like the some of the dry vegetable I bought. They seemed a bit too rusty, too dry. So that one, I don't know if I regret packing it, but I don't know. I feel they could have been better. If I were to do that again, I probably would have gone for fresher vegetables. Apparently there are ways you can preserve them for a bit, so I could have gone for that option. I definitely regret not packing my Ankara. I packed like one or two or three Ankaras. I'll put a picture of what I look like in Ankara. I love rocking Ankara in this country, and I don't know, it's so culturally rich. Like I'm not even sure. Like, I don't even know if it's culturally rich I should use. There's so many people from different environments here. So you sort of like having to give them that exposure of access to what your culture is about is something I find beautiful personally. So I love to share. Like sometimes I would wear my Ankara top to the mall just because I love people to looking at that pattern and sort of like getting that I don't know if you understand, but like giving them that African exposure as much as I can. I feel like the beauty of my culture is something I want to share. Papa. Yeah, but I didn't pack so much in terms of clothing, honestly. I don't even know if I wish I packed more, but it's easy to get clothing here. There are fast fashion stores here. Zara, Prime, Pennies, that's Primark. Um, there's Next, H&M. There are even the extreme brands, the Calvin Klein, the Michael Kors, the bigger guys. If you are a huge shopper, everything is here. So clothing is not a big deal, honestly. So I did not pack a lot of clothing. I didn't even pack a lot of clothing for my kids. But usually I don't buy too much for them because they grow so fast. They grow so fast. Yeah, so I mean, I don't think there's anything I regret packing. Even the smallest things I packed, like my son's cereal, my son's milk, I sort of like helped him to adjust a bit more. Now he has adjusted fully to a lot of things here, but it gave us that soft. It was part of the things that gave us that soft landing because I didn't have to be under pressure going to buy egusi from Ishan/village market or going to look for where to buy kale and spinach and all of that stuff because I want to make soup. Because we don't eat. I don't know how to eat out of this country. They don't know how to put spice in the food. I like spicy food. I've initiated my husband into liking spicy food. Basic stuff I had to get was like basmati, pasta, all of that stuff, just basic stuff. I already had my tea tomato. I had my like I didn't have fresh tomato. I had to get fresh tomato, but I had like all those basic stuff. So it just gave us a soft landing in terms of like eating and food. One thing I want to say is if you're coming to Ireland, definitely pack as light as possible. If you have kids, pack things they can connect to, things that they love. So I feel like packing to this country is very, very personal to you. What do you need? Don't be influenced by a lot of what people are saying. Just pack what you need, what you think will help you. Especially your food stuff. Pack your food stuff. If you're someone that doesn't like to eat burger and fries, of course they have fish and chips. They have rice, but the rice is not spicy. And unlike the UK, I find that we don't have a lot of African food vendors here. I don't know if I'm wrong, but I haven't necessarily seen a lot of them. But yeah, so definitely pack things that will fill your tummy. Guys, thank you so much. I wanted to take this time to say thank you very much for all the support, all the love. I've been seeing a lot of people interacting with some of my videos, a lot of people reaching out to me for questions, to ask questions and everything, and I don't take those things for granted. I love to be the help, the support that you need. You know, the few people that have reached out to me know that I love to answer your questions and I love to be as supportive and as helpful as possible. This is something I like to do. I just like to do it, to be honest. I just like to do it. So definitely come with your answers, come with your questions and everything. I think the next video we're going to be doing is going to be on child benefits and all of that stuff. Like there are multiple things, benefits you get as a parent, or multiple benefits that your child gets actually if you're coming with your kids to Ireland. So if you're planning to come to Ireland and you can bring your kids, and you're coming with your kids, I am going to be highlighting some of these benefits in my next video. So tell me if this is definitely something you want to see in the comment section. If it's something you don't want to see, I will not do it. I will not do it. But yeah, definitely tell me if that's something you want to see. And if you have more questions on videos you want me to do, also on things you want me to speak more on or highlight on, I can do my research as someone who is on this side already, and I can get you that information. Yes, to everybody who is planning to come to Ireland and who is waiting for a visa. A couple of people reached out to me about waiting for their visa or waiting for their CSCP. I want to let you know that God has perfected everything. Everything is going to be perfect. See, start packing your bags. This is what I told somebody. Start packing your bags because you are definitely coming to Ireland, and you're coming with the softest landing ever. You're coming with grace, and you're coming with so much, swag. And even if you're not coming to Ireland and you're just waiting for God to do something amazing in your life, trust me, He's going to perfect everything. He's a God of perfection. He knows the plans He has for us, for good and not for evil, to give us an expected end, and He's going to give you that perfected, expected, and beautiful end. Okay, till next time, I'm still your girl, Dinma. Bye.